Okay, so sorry for the long intro. I was just trying to make sure that everything was set up, everything was good to go. So it is 7 o'clock, so we are going to get started. Thank you so much for joining us. This is iCoach. Again, www.icoach.today. I will be putting some things in the chat box over here, which is over there in my screen. I don't know where it is in yours, but so I'll be putting some stuff up there as far as the website, how to contact us, how to be featured on the show, if you want to be a guest on the show. So I'll be putting it all up on there. I'll also be saying it, so if you're watching, you can kind of pay attention, write it down. I am still trying to figure out how to edit YouTube live while I'm live, so I can get some front screen, some screens up while I'm talking and things like that. I'll figure it all out. I'm still kind of new to this, but all right. So today, we have some good topics to talk about. Three very good topics, very important topics that I think everybody, whether you're a coach, a parent, or an athlete, at some point in your athletic journey, you've either wrestled with these questions or have been frustrated by these questions. We're gonna dive into these things, but before we get started, remember, every show I like to start out with something that doesn't really have. It's not really one of the three topics that we're gonna talk about. But today, I just want to share. I don't really know if it's a frustration or I don't know if it would be considered a frustration or not. Maybe more like a just a I don't know, strong opinion about. But so I'm watching. I didn't follow this story. I don't have all the details in front of me, but I'm going to go off what the announcers on ESPN were saying. So I'm watching the Mavs and the Clippers last night, and pregame, Luka Doncic and I think it was it Montrell Harris or something. Let me just make sure I get his name right. Let's see. Montrez Harris. Okay, is that right? Yeah. So, or yeah, I think I got that right. Anyway, at some point, he was either in trouble or reprimanded or something for making some kind of remarks to Luka Doncic. Now, according to the announcers for that game who were covering the game, apparently the remarks could have been racist towards Luka Doncic. So I'm going to look something up here, but I started to think about this, and then really quick, I'm pretty sure he is from Slovenia. I don't know what you're Slovene, maybe. I don't know what you're called if you're from Slovenia, but you're a Slovenian or a Slovene. But apparently, the comments that were made to him may have been racist. Okay, so pregame, before the game last night, they're at center court or whatever, and you see them kind of go up and Harris or Harrell or Harris he apologizes, and it seems to be like Luka Doncic is like, okay, yeah, and it seems like they're all good, and they go into the game. So the announcers made a comment, and this is what I want to talk about. The announcers said, unfortunately, if that were the other way around, we'd have a much bigger story. He said, and that's unfortunate because wrong is wrong, no matter who says it or what race it's targeted. Wrong is wrong. So here's my thing. I had to agree, and it was a black announcer that said it, but when we think racism and we talk about racism, if we're being honest, we only think black and white. Obviously, there's always exceptions, there's always outliers, but if we're being really honest with ourselves, we only think black and white. So when we hear the word racist or racism, we always think black and white or white and black. Okay. More often than not, if we're just being honest, if we hear racist or racism, we always think something against a black person. Okay. Now, with everything that is going on surrounding Black Lives Matter and all the, everything that's going on around the racist movement and all this kind of stuff, a black guy said something racist to a white guy. Okay. and it wasn't covered. There wasn't a big story. There was nothing but maybe a slap on the wrist, and the guy had to apologize. I mean, I know he got yelled at. So there wasn't a real big uprising. And what the announcer said, the black announcer, mind you, said is so true, and it is the problem with racism in this country, in the world, honestly. When he said, if it would have been the other way around, we would have had a much bigger story. Can you imagine for a second? Can you just imagine for 1 second, okay, that Luka Doncic made those comments? And I really wish I knew his name. I think it's Montrell Harris or Montrez. Let me just make sure I get this. Doncic, Montrez, something like that. Let's see. Yeah, Montrezl Harrell. Okay. All right. So apparently this is what he said. So sorry, I'm just looking this up here real quick. So apparently Montrell Harris said I can't really say the first thing he said, but he called Luka Doncic a BA white boy. Okay, so I'm not going to say the first parts, but so he says he calls him this white boy, something derogatory in the beginning, and then white boy. So BITCHASS, white boy, right? Okay, so Montrezl Harris says this, or Harrell says this to Luka Doncic, and I'm pretty sure that this may be news to most people. Okay. It says he was criticized. So this is okay. Here we go. So this is coming from not an analyst, a sports analyst at the game, watching the game, covering the game, said, I can only imagine if Luka Doncic had said something like that to Harrell and it got caught on tape. This is from Jay Williams. Okay, I'm taking this right offline. So this is from Yahoo Sports. This is from Jay Williams. Okay, he's he was a respected basketball player. He's a respected analyst, very well respected. He says, I can only imagine if Luka Doncic had said something like that to Harrell and it got caught on tape. Okay, I can only imagine during Black Lives Matter how much of a big deal that would have been considering today's climate and state. It would have been a massive story. Luka would have lost all credibility in this space. What they were saying then, following that, was it's a shame. It's sad. It's really unfortunate because that's absolutely true. If Luka Doncic made these comments, if he was the one that made these comments and he was the one that said something to Harrell about being black, if he called him a BA black boy or a BA whatever, the N-word, if he said anything like that, he would have been America's Most Wanted, hated. Now he's the golden boy of the NBA right now. He would have lost, like they said, like Jay Williams said, all credibility. He would have been outed, whatever you want to call it. He would have been ostracized. He would have been shunned. Okay, I know he's not Amish, but he would have been shunned. It would have been a terrible ordeal for him. And he would have been forced, if maybe, to apologize publicly. And it would have been this huge spectacle. And then there would have been all this uproar surrounding that. Okay. It's the other way around and nothing happens. We find it online at Yahoo Sports. Somebody mentions it at a game. He apologized beforehand. It's no big deal. Okay. Here's my issue. Racism is not black and white. It's not black on white. It's not white on black. Racism is not between a white person and a black person, although we have made it between white people and black people. Okay. That is the problem. That's the problem. The reason why everything is so jacked up right now is because people don't view people as people. People matter. Okay? If you're black, yes, your life matters. If you're white, yes, your life matters. If you're yellow, yes, your life matters. If you're Indian, brown, black, blue, white, purple, whatever color you are, your life matters. And yes, there are things in the history of all these races that we can talk about and point to, and many things have not been made right. Many things still deserve restitution. There are also many things in all of these races that are in the past, their history, and do not pertain to today. So it's a big tangled web. However, there shouldn't be a Black Lives Matter movement against white people. Yes, let's rally and let's support Black people. Let's rally and support white people. Let's rally and support Indian people and Chinese people. Okay. The common word in all of this is people. And so if I'm white and I view a Black person as lesser than a human, of course I'm going to treat him a certain way. That's racist. If I'm a Black person and I look at a white person as lesser than human, I'm going to view him different. I'm going to treat him different. That's racist. Okay. So my problem isn't the fact that that there's Black Lives Matter. My problem is not the fact that there's white people that don't agree and there's Black people that don't agree. And my problem is, one, we have made racism white and black. Okay, that's stupid. That's ridiculous. It's not white and black. Okay. My other problem is until us as a people group, as a human race, until we are able to see the heart and get to the heart, okay? Because it's not about color. It's not about color. It's about the sin that causes us to treat people a certain way. Until we can see past ourselves and see the heart of another person and see them as a human, there will never, ever not be racism. There will never be an end to racism until I can look at a Black person and see them as a human being that matters, that I can see their heart. Until a Black person can look at me and see that I'm a human, that I matter. Okay. It doesn't matter what uniform they're wearing. If they're a cop, a military man, an NBA person, NFL, bystander on the street, it doesn't matter. There will never be an end to racism until we can see that other person, our brother and sister, and say that is a human being that matters. And that's how we're going to treat them. Okay. Imagine if we saw others and cared about others and liked others as much as we like ourselves, there wouldn't be any racism. We're in love with ourselves. We're so selfish. We're such a selfish race. Okay. A lot of these protests and things, they're ridiculous. They're stupid. Not what they're protesting for or against, but the way in which they go about it, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's ignorant. It really is. And it spoils it for the people that are doing it right. Okay. So my problem is we've made it about black and white. Racism is not about black and white. It's not white people hate black people, and black people are so oppressed, and white people are so privileged. And because if we want to talk about all that stuff, which we're not, right? We can get into the